They moved through the forest before dawn, silent shadows in the half-light, believing their presence was undetected. The Russian Special Forces team, hand-picked, highly trained, and armed for a covert strike, advanced toward a ridgeline they thought was safe. But the forest was no longer their ally. High above the treetops, far beyond their field of vision or their hearing range, a Ukrainian drone watched them with patient precision. Its camera locked onto their movement, its operator miles away, waiting for the right moment. On that cold morning, every branch, every patch of fog, every shift of wind hid something else, an invisible hunter circling above the most elite unit on the ground. For days, the Special Forces group had been moving through the area in small teams. Their objective remained tightly concealed, but drone surveillance had already recorded their route. They entered forests at odd hours, avoided main roads, and communicated through low-power encrypted devices. Their confidence came from experience. They had survived ambushes. They had executed deep penetration raids. They believed they could move through the terrain without being seen, heard, or tracked. But they didn't know drones had been overhead long before they arrived. It began with a single reconnaissance drone, observing unusual movement patterns in the valley. Small figures moving in formation, advancing carefully, pausing at predictable intervals. Footsteps that did not match regular infantry patrols. The unit's spacing, discipline, and silence revealed them as special operations soldiers. From that moment, surveillance increased. More drones arrived, some flying high above cloud cover, others skimming the treetops. They watched the team collect gear, move along narrow ridge lines, and gather near an abandoned farmhouse deep in the forest. Analysts studied their behavior, frame by frame, noting their weapons, uniforms, and tactical discipline. These weren't ordinary troops. They were a priority target. The Ukrainian command decided to prepare a drone strike specifically designed for Special Forces interception, an ambush where speed, precision, and timing mattered more than raw firepower. The task fell to operators with thousands of hours behind FPV platforms. They reviewed infrared footage, measured distances between trees, calculated wind drift, and analyzed the terrain. Every movement of the Special Forces team was charted. Every potential escape route was memorized. Then, they waited. On that cold morning, the Special Forces team emerged from a ravine, moving cautiously through a frost-covered field. Their breaths formed pale clouds in the cold air. They scanned the tree line. They checked their six. They advanced steadily, unaware that a drone had lowered its altitude to the point where individual branches swayed beneath it. The operator watched calmly as the soldiers continued along the ridge. From above, the team looked almost routine. Tight formation, weapons ready, communication gestures simple and efficient. But drones don't get intimidated by elite reputation. The operator exhaled slowly and pressed forward on the controls. The drone dipped lower, shadows flickering across its lens. The soldiers didn't hear the drone at first. FPV motors at a distance blend into the wind. By the time they heard anything, if they heard anything at all, the mission was already in motion. The drone accelerated. Its camera fixed on the rearmost soldier. The operator calculated angles, adjusting micro-corrections. The drone darted forward, weaving through branches. As it closed distance, the soldier turned sharply, as if sensing pressure behind him. He lifted his weapon instinctively, but it didn't matter. The drone reached him before he could fully react. A burst of dust erupted behind him as he dove for cover. The entire team spun around, trying to identify the threat. They couldn't. Another drone entered from the opposite side of the forest. The Special Forces team tried to split, moving toward different pockets of trees. Two soldiers ran toward a large fallen log, taking cover behind it. Another dashed toward the side of a hill, seeking elevation. The last man attempted to signal with hand signs to regroup near a rock outcrop. But drones move far faster than men on uneven ground. The second FPV sliced through a narrow gap between branches. It flew so close to the bark that splinters shook loose in its slipstream. The team below sprinted with full combat gear, but the drone kept perfect distance, maintaining a low pursuit angle that made it nearly impossible to see. Dust exploded near the rock outcrop as the drone struck the hillside, filling the air with smoke and debris. The Special Forces soldier ducked into a crevice, breathing hard. He tapped his radio. Static. The electronic communications grid was already jammed by electronic interference from overhead drones. Another operator repositioned a surveillance drone high above the scene, capturing a wide-angle view. From that height, the battlefield appeared almost quiet, just forest shadows and drifting fog. But every movement beneath the canopy was clear. Soldiers running in different directions, footsteps breaking patterns in the frost, heat signatures glowing faintly through the trees. The elite team was no longer a coordinated unit. They were fragmented, separated, and reacting to an enemy they couldn't see. They attempted one final coordinated movement. One soldier sprinted toward an opening in the tree line, trying to reach a ravine that could offer cover. Another moved to support him, running parallel across a patch of broken ground. But drones above tracked them instantly, marking their heat and movement patterns. The two soldiers darted left and right, changing directions rapidly. FPV drones mirrored every motion. The operators guided the drones with absolute focus, weaving between obstacles, descending low enough to flatten the grass under the drone's rotor wash. The soldier near the ravine stumbled briefly, regaining balance. The drone closed the gap. Dust burst behind him, scattering fragments over the edge of the ravine. He rolled into the ditch, chest heaving. The drone hovered over the opening, watching. Across the field, the final soldier took cover behind a broken tree trunk. He pressed his back against the bark, panting heavily, eyes scanning upward. He held his rifle tightly. His radio crackled with faint static. For a moment, the forest fell silent. Then the drone appeared from behind a pine tree, drifting into view. The soldier froze. The operator steered the drone slowly, bringing it into alignment. The soldier saw the faint red glow of the drone's camera. He shifted slightly, attempting to crawl deeper behind the trunk. The drone tilted forward. Dust erupted. Silence settled over the forest. The surveillance drone above recorded the aftermath. Heat signatures faded. Movement ceased. The once coordinated Special Forces team now lay scattered across the landscape, overrun not by overwhelming numbers, but by precision, patience, and the silent dominance of the air. Hours later, Ukrainian units reviewed the footage, analyzing the Special Forces' positions, gear, movement patterns, and tactical decisions. Every angle was studied. Lessons were extracted. More drones were deployed to ensure no reinforcements entered the valley. The operation was declared complete. The elite Russian Special Forces team had been neutralized. Not through firefights, not through ground assaults, but through an invisible network of eyes in the sky. Drones that turned the forest into a map, the soldiers into heat signatures, and the battlefield into a silent equation only the operators could solve. The mission proved one harsh truth of modern warfare. In the drone age, even the most elite soldiers cannot outrun the sky.